There's a report from the Senate committee, led by Bernie Sanders, unsurprisingly, that has accused Amazon of ignoring safety concerns and systematically undercounting worker injuries. This is specifically poignant right now because it's holiday season, and I'm sure tons of people are ordering things through Amazon. So the pace and the rate has to really keep moving as if it's any different from any other time. Because if you're on Prime, that next day delivery, if it's not there next day, how many people are complaining? But how much do they care about how we get it the next day? Let's go to some details from Axios. Some workers interviewed said that they routinely bypassed safety measures to meet productivity requirements. The findings also cited workers who said they suffered chronic pain and temporary or permanent disabilities because of injuries sustained in Amazon warehouses. So it's not all that safe. And it was reported that Amazon workers are about twice as likely to be injured as workers in non-Amazon warehouses. That's weird. Details. Amazon forces workers to operate in a system that demands impossible rates and treats them as disposable when they're injured. That's what Sanders said in his statement. His panel's 18-month probe drew from over 130 interviews with workers and company documents. So that pretty much locks it up as far as like the legitimacy purposes of this. People may want to say, oh, these folks are just upset or they're mad at Bezos because he also owns the Washington Post and he's limited their whole their ability to endorse. They're just disgruntled employees. It's kind of a blanket statement. But 135 of them, I mean, maybe something's going wrong. A little bit more, because Amazon pushed back on this, of course, calling it a biased report. The spokesperson claimed that injury rates have decreased. I mean, from what? But still. The report alleges that Amazon's reports of declining recordable injury rates are misleading, saying the company boasts numbers compared to an outlier year and compares its rate to only a small subcategory of the industry. So of course, it's manipulating numbers and trying to find different ways of making it look better than it was. Maz, you kind of pointed out with the January 6th folks, they won't be in jail if it wasn't incited in the first place. You wouldn't have all these worker injuries that you have to try and find a way around of finagling the numbers around to make yourself look better if you just make yourself look better and run the company better. I mean, it's like the age-old thing from like sitcoms or something. One day since the last worker injury, because that's supposed to be a big deal because it's usually a black eye for people and companies and corporations to be running their workers ragged and also apparently injured when they're just sending out a bunch of packages. What are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, JR. I mean, you just, hit the nail on the head because I'm surprised. I ordered something and the guy delivered it at like 3 a.m. And I'm going, why is he working at 3 a.m? I don't need my toothpaste that bad. I'm already asleep. And so I think as a society, we've come to expect this is the American way: faster, bigger, give me more. Don't worry about my health. Don't worry about the health of others. This is just capitalism unleashed versus having some regulations that would help these types of workers. If you told me, look, one less person is going to have to go to a doctor to get back surgery because your package will arrive a day later, I'd say, of course, let's have the package arrive a day later and let that person remain healthy. And yet we are this society that goes, no, I want my package right now, and I'm not even going to think about what's happening to these workers. It's just, and by the way, these are workers that are working for a major corporation, much less people that we have this issue with undocumented workers now. You think they're getting any kind of protections when they're out there picking fruit in the sun? I don't think they are. I think there's still a lot of this hard labor that happens, and that's why we need regulation. And yet we're about to see more and more deregulation, and we will see more and more of the workers, some who voted for this, 100%. Suffer from these policies.
I wonder if they'll connect the dots, because there's another dot to connect. And it's the first thing I thought of when I saw this, because obviously Jeff Bezos owns Amazon, Washington Post. We see all this go down, but he also understands. I saw this also. He gave $1 million donation to Trump's inaugural fund. Crazy how that works. The guy, I don't know if you saw this at the New York Stock Exchange, the guy being the president-elect, stepped in and told companies and corporations, anybody that gives $1 billion will have their permits and ability to get ingratiated within the system much quicker. We can do it immediately. We can do it fast because you're giving money to me. If this isn't an open, blatant corruption, if you have more money, who cares how you got it? Who cares what your business is? If you can give it to me, I'll take it and I will put you ahead of the line. Bro, this is how things fall apart. This is how there's, again, and then while they're pushing for less regulation, Jeff Bezos is like, I don't need to give $1 billion, but I mean, I'll give $1 million to your inauguration fund so you can have a bigger party. And at that point, maybe you can help me out with some of these government contracts, or maybe you can help me out with these pesky regulations about people's legs being broken and backs being destroyed. Who cares? I got $1 million based off of the backs, ironically, of these people who work in your warehouses and help you build this empire that you can then pay money to a corrupt politician to help you do it some more. Are we stopping to think about that? Are we actually stopping to think about how that works? Because again, there was also a $10 billion Pentagon cloud contract from Trump's first term that was awarded to Microsoft, that then Amazon, because they were the next nearest competitor, tried to come after and actually successfully lobbied against it going down as well, because it was a little bit too much of a huge government contract that, of course, Amazon and Bezos wanted, and it went to someone else. This is how these things work. It's pretty damn obvious, but is that important to enough to us? Do we understand the connection between how they pay off our politicians to do their bidding, and when they're doing other folks' bidding that have tons more money than you do, they have no time for you, nor your back, nor your knees, or your legs. So get out of here is going to be the final answer.
When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?